Okay, so in this video, we are going to talk about converting decimals to fractions, including improper fractions, without a calculator. Now, you may already know how to do this, so the purpose is not to bore you, but instead to kind of do a quick recap here, because we're going to be using that in our next set of lessons. So real quick, a little vocab lesson, an integer. An integer is just a whole number, negative, positive, or zero. So an integer could include -3. It could include 0. It could include 4. It could include -100. It could include 50. It does not include something like 3.1. That is not an integer. 3/4 is not an integer. So it's essentially a whole number, negative, positive, or 0. An improper fraction is one where the numerator is greater than the denominator. So something like 140 over 10 is an improper fraction. Something like 35 over 3 is an improper fraction because the numerator is greater than the denominator. 3/4 is not improper. Again, it has to be something where the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So going back to integer, we're essentially talking about whole numbers. And you want to write that down for integer, whole numbers. For improper fractions, numerator greater than denominator. And I would write that down so you know when I say those things in this video and I say those things in class, you know what I'm talking about without having to look it up again. All right, let's look at our next screen here. Let's convert this decimal to a fraction. Now, we notice, at least I noticed, that it's two decimal places. We talked about this in preparation for our last quiz. This is the tenths place, right? The 4 is in the tenths place. The 9 is in the hundredths place. So what we're going to do is put this over, we're going to put 49 over 100 because it ends in the hundredths place. So we take the number 49 and we put it as a fraction over 100. Okay, because that's where the fraction ended. That's how you convert a decimal to a fraction. Now let's look at the next one. Convert this decimal to a fraction. Again, this is in the 5, it ends in the hundredths place. So what does that mean? It means that we're going to take 0.5, okay, and put it over 100. Now 0.5 is really just 5. So it's 5 over 100. Okay, we're not going to put the 0 in front there. If it was 50, then we could reduce the fraction, but we can't cancel these zeros. Okay, don't go doing that. It has to end in a 0 to be canceled. The next one. Okay, if you're unsure, you just keep multiplying by 10. And I'll even let you use the page 29 in the workbook, has all the places. Okay, page 29, I think it was, when we did this earlier in the year. But what place is this? Well, the first place is the tenths. The second place is the hundredths. The third place, so the second one was in the hundredths place. The third one is in the thousandths. And the last one here is in the 10,000ths place. Okay, so that's going to be 6 over 10,000. Now that fraction does reduce, but I'm not worried about that. That's actually not something we're going to focus in on for this stuff. We're not going to worry about reducing fractions. We're just worried about going from the decimal to the fraction. All right, next one. Now we're going to convert to improper fractions. So 1.49. Now this ends, again, this ends in that hundreds place. So we're just going to put it over 100. But the difference here is now we have that 1 in front. It's just going to be 149 over 100. So again, it's the same thing. Where does the fraction end? Where's the decimal end? It ends in the hundreds place. Put that number over 100. Next one. Again, it ends in the hundreds place. So we're just going to put it over 100. 105 over 100. Whatever place it ends in, that's what you put it over. And the last one, okay, we saw this earlier. This ends in the 10,000s place. So we are going to put this over 10,000. And it's 10,006, right? So you can count the number of zeros. There's 1, 2, 3 zeros. That's what I have there. Over 10,000. And there it is. So, it's as simple as where does the decimal end? Okay, put it over that number. Whatever place it ends in, you put it over that number, and that's your fraction. I hope this was a review. If it's not, please ask in class. I'll be happy to explain it further. I'll be happy to go more in depth, but hopefully this was mostly a review for you. All right, thanks everyone. See you tomorrow.